looks like a walk down mid off the back of fault line, flash, pressure towards headshot box.
Yeah, you can see it now being applied. Kushner's not wasting any time. All that util being used, but he is spotted out. Dash still enabled, forced out as well, just from that one fault line.
And so, early little test of how good DRX's default is. BBL come away unscathed, but without a kill of their own.
I love how active Kushner is being as well. He's already pushed in mid. He was spotted in just a moment, a blink of an eye. Already updrafted onto that high ground angle, but a bit of a reposition now as the players are just rotating around. This crossfire setup that they've got going on in Garage could be quite difficult to break, but see what utility ends up being committed.
Oh, it's so tense, this battle for Garage currently. Smoke goes in and Brave will realize.
Dash enabled, off to the side, and it cuts up the crosshair placement enough.
Whoa, that was
incredibly
sticky.
labored, yeah. Really, really difficult for them. A TP into the back of the site and a bit of run and gun on top. But it does leave it just down to Aslan.
And that is a gutting way for BBL to begin, because so much of how they won on Ascent was powered by winning the pistol round, right? They won pistol follow-up on round 1 and on round 13. And more so than just that, the Brave and Turco duo on Ascent was fantastic. And they're the duo that just fumbled a little bit there in terms of the Garage hold. But it was a hard one to deal with. So that's the pistol round going the way of DRX. And it sets them off on completely different footing compared to the previous map.
Yeah.
Driving seat. Sochny calling for his team for a gamble stack over towards C. I wonder if they're going to push or do something funky, maybe just sit here quietly.
So they are holding the fault line.
Yeah, take a look at their positioning now. All 5 players from BBL around here. But there's a recon dart being primed. I mean, it does look like there's something set here for BBL.
Possibly just
off the orb?
Yeah, orb being tapped.
There it is.
Nice little swing and face, pushed up. Mako's on the corner, but traded out. The question is, can they reclaim this weapon? It's being guarded ever so slightly. Buzz getting the backup and help with the rest of his team now, so fortunately no prizes to be gained by BBL. It was a cute idea though.
It was a nice idea, a little set play to make your eco round have a bit more of a sting to it. I think DRX are going to be able to just come away with this one fairly easily. A commitment into C doesn't have Brave or Sochny in a position where they can do too much damage. Unless Brave is able to wrap really fast, but the flank should be watched.
Yeah, Alarmbot's there, in fact.
It certainly is being watched.
Yeah, even if it didn't catch the contact, so.
It is cool, though, to see Sochny call rounds like this. When you are an inexperienced IGL stepping onto the stage for the first time, battling against a team that you know is more proven than you.
Yeah.
You don't want to admit that they're better than you, but you know that there's more evidence for that.
They've got the experience, they've been deeper in tournaments.
Yeah, but when IGLs tend to be in that position, it's pretty common to just freeze up, to forget your own game plan, to not call anything aggressive. And I think what we've really seen on Ascent...
Yeah, this guy's able to just make magic out of nothing, but when you get to these really high-level end-of-tournament matches, when you're up against the best in the world, let's face it, listen, DRX, one of the favorites to potentially win the whole of lock-in.
Might have to address that expectation as we get later on in Haven. Not even guaranteed to make the next round.
Not just yet.
Oh, this is aggressive from Turco and Brave. That duo again.
It's a double peek, Mako. Just holding the corner, TP's to safety. And that smoke just puts a dampener on anything that they were attempting to try and get aggressive.
It really is so aggro. From an Astra and a Breach.
Oh. That's just a bait as well. A close jiggle, Buzz takes the fight as well, just swing it at a slightly wider angle. The site is theirs for the taking.
But this is going to be a very tough retake. BBL are anticipating winning this round, but no recon dart. Turco's got to provide all of the utility.
Whoa! This is absolute chaos now, but he's dropped himself down, is dealt with.
No one else on his team was ready to go, though.
Yeah, I felt like it was odd. It was just holding in that position, but...
Was that a misclick? Did he fall out of the window rather than deliberately go for it? I don't know whether he tried what they were hoping for.
Yeah.
And what they had been able to achieve. There's that little...
You know, I mean, that's just great movement.
Yeah, bait and switch, basically, that Sochny falls for. Most of the time when you grab a bit of information there, you just need to leave instantly.
Drop down to those weaker weapons. Nothing quite so much as a stack like BBL were trying on their last eco, but holding with a nice little crossfire. Dash up, close and personal, straight through, and a bit of a disengage, just trying to catch the sightline onto Aslan there, just weaving in and out, back and forth. Plant's going to go down without too many issues, especially as the smokes start to dissipate.
And DRX have just gone for such a simple approach to this round, keeping it safe,
Yeah.
and showcasing one of their C execs. Prime Gaming flawless. Now here's the question, can BBL pick themselves up and come out with a response? All of their aggressive movements in the early round have failed. If you look at what was working for them on Ascent, their early round game was really powerful. They were up +6 in first kills to first deaths on Ascent. 2 around.
Yeah. He's more than a spearhead at that point. He's the entire bloody weapon, but now we see them with guns in their hands. So BBL, that's an opportunity, but again, look at this pace that's being injected into it. DRX not wasting any time. The back of the side. Needs to be a one fight for Aslan, but he just does not catch it.
It's a great read from Aslan as well. Oh no.
And it's fallen to pieces. Just a bit of a miracle play from Brave as he does manage to just beam down 2 players lined up for them. But will anything else be offered for them? Has brought them into this 2v2. Now the aftershock. Lovely angle that's been forced and collecting themselves. Just for the moment, now to defuse. Being stuck half on it already. It's up to RB to see if he can deny. One after the other! There's no shot in hell.
They had actually got themselves into a winning position until RB drove a dagger into their backs.
Yeah, I mean,
how many times have we seen RB playing Killjoy on this map coming out with something ridiculous? The Red Bull clutch, I mean, just one of many.
me speechless.
He's 8-0.
Yeah. Just insanity. Heartbreaking for BBL.
And
Really
momentum.
did bring that one from the...
Completely momentum stopping too.
Yeah. What's their answer? I mean, that was the round that they needed to win. The full investment of the money still dropped down to the lighter buy once more. They do have ults to work with, but the question is, I mean, you don't really want to be investing him into a round like this unless it does seem feasible. And here we go. They hit a close drone. They know they can catch at least one of the players. In fact, the 2 players that were at the back of the site, stunned up, left crawling, trying to escape. Suchny will be the first one down.
Putting some pressure on the DRX economy is now really important. They've just got far too much money. DRX are going to be able to buy for round upon round upon round.
Oh, it's a stun play with the updraft. That's what they want to go for. Kushner is waiting for it. There's the fault line, and here's the double updraft, but no targets spotted. And it's a beautiful dart timing. Just Zest ready for it as well. Small piece of utility to push back any sort of approach that BBL might try and come up with, and crumbling to pieces. All the options.
And the end result of that round is that only Zest needs to buy unbelievably clean from DRX. The Prime Gaming Flawless doesn't even begin to cover it. It's an understatement. This is straight back to map 1. Anybody can deliver an upset. I think with the normal double elimination format, that becomes less true, but with this single elim stuff, 32 teams, man, it really does feel like any given Sunday sometimes.
Sure. But this is a different scenario for BBL. I mean, listen, they've been on the brink before. You think about that first half on Ascent where it was 8-4. They managed to come back in that scenario. So they've definitely got the fortitude to be able to at least bring it back.
So drone coming out there from Zest, looking towards A, and that has actually pulled Kushner over to the right-hand part of the map, which is rough. Where on earth is this one going?
Yeah, that is an odd dart.
Okay, show me this dart.
Where does that land?
Where does it land?
Where is that going? All the way to the back of the site?
He's bounced it off a tree.
Yeah, and Zest can just hold the flank from that one as well.
That is unusual. Can't say I've ever seen that one before.
Be watched for though. Now that lockdown, DRX placing it. The Hunter's Fury is used as an answer to it, but 3 bursts eventually enough to break it. They did end up losing Brave in the process. This reflank timing is everything. Kushner trying to take an easy fight, but it won't be awarded to him. It won't be in the slightest. 7th round on the board for DRX. That's going to be the buy. Broken once more.
I'm not there in the comms with them, and frankly, if I was, I couldn't understand Turkish anyway.
Not that talented.
No, uncultured and untalented, actually. But what was working for them is that Sojny was able to get the read on where DRX were going every round, whether that was based on whether, you know, where Buzz was or the knife timings or whatever. But it takes time away. Once more, Brave and Turco going for a push. I think they've been spotted.
Yeah, but it's going to be the smoke up close. I think that's just to try and fight for a bit of that control. That's Brave's own smoke that he ended up popping off there, but you got to remember, maybe a little play to see if they could get anything with, again, the weaker buy. Drop down to just the pistols.
And they're stacking the A site. And that's not where it is. You know, again, going off the Sova drone. Zest, Sova drones towards short, and that calls the 4-player stack to A. And it's just not the right read. It might be against quite a lot of other teams. Not against DRX, not today.
Yeah, not too much trending towards that A lobby. Utility dumped in. Last-ditch effort there by Brave. Just paying for it with his life, obviously. Just jumping into the smoke to see if he can get anything done. But plan once more. Drop down, playing those post-plant positions. Lovely stun, but Buzz does offset it. Tries to play in the smoke there, gets his head taken off once more. Lovely pop flash play and clean up crossfire.
And you're starting to see why in rounds like these, it pixel perfect, all of the utility followed up on too. Yinsu was talking about Ascent being the Turkish map. This is the map I most strongly associate with DRX. Yeah. It's not always their best map, but it was just their home territory, their style. It all just worked so well here. By the way, RB still hasn't died. Just if we want to keep a running note of that.
Yeah, okay.
My God, how this feels instantly like map 1 again. All the wind taken out from BBL's sails.
Left scrambling, looking for those options. That's shocky.
There goes
the alarm bot.
Zest has been in the lab.
Yeah,
maybe some time on the bench has helped him just look up lineup videos and
just
stuff.
Been cooking.
Yeah.
Just been cooking, hasn't he? This deep A lobby push from BBL. They are holding this in a couple of angles. It's Sojny that looks like he's going to be the one who takes contact. And if this does go now towards A lobby, drone cleared. Yeah, it has to be broken. Does pushes back, but DRX, they're going to be disciplined enough to realize that there could be a player. Looks like they are trying to go clear it, but not a lot else being used. No utility. That's Kushner playing off of his teammate in particular really well. Zest was just staring at the ground like a Yoru decoy for some reason. Mako just trying to pick up the pieces.
A TP all the way into the C site. Oh, and he gets denied. Great play from Aslam Machado.
It's time enough in a round, though, with 20 seconds, but they know where the spike is going to be. Last known location, just in A lobby. There's only a few more places they really can go.
But every avenue is cut off to them here.
Yeah.
10 seconds left.
They have generational wealth to work with, though. So DRX can definitely commit to this one.
Take these fights. Inside the smoke, a bit of spam just to try and break it up. RB, can he pull off the impossible once more? One found, but luckily the coverage is there. And finally, BBL. They get that round on the board.
But their economy is still in shambles. Brave and Turco with only the 3,000 credits to their name, essentially. So DRX have still done damage to them. And that was RB's first death, though, so that's good. He's only 14-1. Fantastic play, though, from Kushner, just on an individual level to lock down this area for such a length of time and set his team up for the win. But I don't think that's replicable.
Teams, you know, they dump that util into it, fault line something else, push a player up deep so they have that information, just like you're seeing here. It's a dart, so Kushner can get into this close angle. But usually off the back of this, you want to rotate players away, you know?
I have the spike.
A bit of a tell that they're not going to be dedicating anyone towards that area of the map.
Both shock darts getting used to break the alarm bot, and for whatever reason, it didn't hit the one in Garage. It looked good, but the lineup just didn't land.
BBL setup, they're not... I mean, here's the thing, they haven't been punished, actually, for this. Despite that, I mean, they're still sticking with 3 players holding close in A lobby. Only now you're seeing Turco rotate, but DRX were expecting at least a player to be close.
I mean, they have fantastic B retake ults, right? The
Yeah,
breach ult
that's
is
true.
just amazing from Turco. The only problem is if they sneak through the A connector, but DRX are instead going for a C split.
The smoke popped off here. Now, ultimate being used potentially to fight this. The lockdown has put a dampener on it. But they still want to commit this now. Yeah, well, that's RB. Where did he find that one? Ult popped off to the side. The Astral Wall was laid down with a Cosmic Divide, but it does little to stop again. DRX just barreling their way through onto the site.
Wow, so important that the lockdown was broken there. You could hear them communicating it. And this is now really tough. Kushner's got to deliver the goods.
And timing is everything. There's a dart into the back. He knows where one of them is remaining. It's Mako still locking it down and down to Suchny. The attacking lockdown. He can't quite find it. There's no angle in sight for him to break that one. DRX claiming once more another, not letting it get out of their hands.
Everything happens so quickly with these top-level teams. I love that. BBL using the Vision Strikers strat. The flash and dash out into grass. If you can't beat them, join them.
All that time ago when they were really put on the map, I think, from plays like that. We're seeing it. Fast take now towards A. Swarm at his feet, but Buzz again just disrespecting it. Glimmers and echoes of it. You can see attempts are there. There was an updraft from Kushner as well, but the players dropping still one after the other. Even a shorty just running at them. And what can Brave do? Tries to pick up a bit of an upgrade, but god damn these shock darts. Just not even given an inch.
And it looks like Termi, the DRX head coach, you're like, okay, we just got comprehensively, unbelievably outplayed, and hell, at least we got a map off them.
The comfort zone for them, trying to play inside. The Cloud Burst Brave. He survives for now, but not much longer. The Hunter's Fury is used to just try and clear the way.
Oh, no way.
Two
did Zest
kills?
also get Aslan. There's no way.
Suchny, this is the desperation. Final round, might as well use them. The ultimate's one after the other. Doesn't get too much done. The aftershock pushing into the corner, into the angle. On the flank, Kushner. Let's get the one kill, but down to that 2v3.
Last player standing.
How can they make this happen? 45 seconds left and just spraying it down. A bit of panic in the play. 11-1 will be that half score line.
You know, as one of the favorites of the tournament after they lost Ascent, but when map 1 and map 3 are like this, they just look in such insanely good form.
Yeah, just an instant buffer.
Yeah.
Not wasting too much time. That's a Nana Swarm drop down. What an opening. Okay. Kushner really fighting hard for that one. Just running his way right down. And now to squeeze that one player that was Mako holding into short. Cleaned up momentarily. Faster play to still. Stax tries to drop down to catch a cheeky timing. But there's the pistol round one at least.
And I think I have they've actually been able to win a bunch of those, and they've taken a map away from one of the favorites for the tournament too. It is just going to be so unbelievably impossible for them to win this map and claw their way back from a deficit like this.
Yeah.
But I think they can just soak it in, enjoy being here.
Taking the experience of it. That's for certain. You're all right, Josh. You know, a certain level of pride, I think, for them being able to go toe-to-toe with a team like DRX on Ascent. The fact that they were able to take that one away from them.
There's a lot of pride involved in just being on your team for partnership, right? Making it to that 1% of the Valorant pros that are representing their team, their region, etc. For BBL, their country too, at that top level.
Mostly just really trajectory, I think, of a team like BBL. Now getting deeper into what's left of the series and potentially on the other side of this tournament.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were completely counting them out, and that's not what's happened today.
No. Showcase that do have a lot to play for still. That's a lot of utility being used, but nothing to clear into short.
Zest has just slipped his way into short.
They gotta know this isn't cleared, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think you really expect the Sova to be tucked.
Slan is watching just that one extremity.
Last player standing.
I don't think Zest is going to be able to win the 1v5 with the Classic, though.
Yeah, seems unlikely. He's making it look like a bit more than a classic.
He gave it a good try, didn't
He
he?
really did, yeah.
EMEA, VCT, you know, that kind of stuff.
I think the evolution of this team as well, you know, BBL in the past have been, you know, the descriptive term that I've used has been quite one-dimensional, I think, in the way that they thought about the game, the way that they played the game with overall game plans. But the addition of Suchny as an IGL, I think, I already see it paying dividends with that Ascent map.
Yeah, it's a promising start, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've definitely got things that they can come away being happy about. So moving their way forwards here, just a little bit of poking and prodding towards Garage, as DRX have still managed to hold on to that spot. RB's turret not getting broken. Seems like that would have been a major win for BBL's macro game. And heading back, pushing Buzz away from the angle. Buzz, though, not calling for any reinforcements just yet. And that is going to throw BBL off, because you would definitely assume that Zest or Stax would have rotated A. And actually, now they do. It's just a little later. But here's where you see Sochny actually, you know, helping them come up with good game plans, because they're reading that move, knowing that there's going to be more players over towards A, and hitting the weak side of the map.
Well, here we go. Hit coming through, dart into the back. Dash forwards, but not enough spam damage, and look at the absolute mountain of utility. Mako is so uncomfortable, but RB returning fire. Left down to Aslan. Position is not quite known just yet, but looks like Mako is relatively aware, and that is going to be the 12th round gained. No more room for error at all for BBL. It's going to be that match point, that series point for DRX.
And if DRX's goal was to make it just as dominant as Pearl, they would have to convert in this one coming up right now. 13-3. That they can close out the map fairly quickly here. So a bit of a lobby control from Buzz, from Zest, really pushed up. This is dangerous.
Very dangerous. Only the 1-for-1 on defense side. It's not the most ideal outcome.
We've seen Crashies go for a Sovereign from this position that got so much value, but Zest decides to play it a little more slowly. He's getting himself into some really tricky positions over a short. Not the best spot for a Sova to play.
Yeah, a lot of it
They
off
are
the back
unexpected.
of Mako smokes, honestly, have been doing the most as well. Just that extra layer in play, making sure that they can't quite clear it, but there we go. Now the presence is met pound for pound. RB just trying to push them back. Not able to do so. Spike is going to go down now, and it is just left up to Mako, who's going to opt into the save. Percentage
BBL
plays.
still with life in them,
Yeah.
making this one a closer game than Pearl. DRX are going to have to take another eco here and still figure things out. I don't know how far Buzz is along to his ultimate, actually.
Might be able to scramble a bite together.
Yeah, might be
if they
able to go
wanted
for something weird, but I don't see really why you would. Doesn't make sense to take risks and let BBL back into the game.
Yeah.
But that was off the back of breaking Buzz's really extended position. And then Zest also choosing to take a really odd position, in my opinion. There's a Sova pushing close there up on short. You're not able to get value out of any of your utility when the sight hit comes through. And he didn't really have a team.
The dart, all the breach utility as well to clear out hell. If you do want to play retake on A, it's more than viable. When you play in short like that, any good team is going to be cleared you out.
Singular rifle from Mako, who saved it in the previous round. And this is where BBL should be able to convert. I've seen so many situations like this, though, Bren, where teams need to get a comeback, and it all falls to pieces on a Thrifty.
It's these rounds that are the dangerous ones. You should be thinking, percentage-wise, should be favored. With the rifles, one taking contact. That is an incredibly wide angle to be taken with a shorty, son. Not getting into the montage of that one.
No, that one's not touching it. Adobe Premiere.
All well and good though. Flick of the wrist from Stax.
And it's not going to be this Thrifty round.
Yeah.
Not now, not today, says BBL. Getting a 5th on the board. And making their attack side look fairly decent. They look coordinated, they have game plan. This recon dart lands at the top of short.
So is there going to be a punish here onto Buzz?
Doesn't look like it, actually.
No, he's out of the line of sight of it, so he's not going to get revealed.
And he didn't get contested by Kushner. Normally teams will sync that up with a jet dash or something like that to put early pressure down short.
I think he's got them contained though, hasn't he? Okay, Kushner's just trying to dash a punish! And that's a stun up. just to try and bail out Zest. They claim the kill. Brave does make it even, though.
It's a good punish, and Suchni's leading the team all the way over to C instantly. Look at that,
call.
great read.
Yeah.
Great read, great call. Haven's just got so many opportunities for IGLs to show their worth, right? You see people like FNS, for example, it's like a playground for him.
Yeah. What's
And you're
associated with that?
You're getting a little flavor of this here too. Oh, Mako has got himself into a wild spot though. And RB pays for it.
Yeah, I mean, TPing into the smoke caused them to spam it. It was RB, like you said, paying for that. Unfortunate indeed, but that lockdown pushing them back. Brave just skirting the outside of it. Aslan is going to be detained, but the spike is dropped down. Now, just how dangerous does this get? With Mako low, and the money also low, looks like DRX are opting again into that percentage play.
Yeah. And BBL have all the ults to stop this. There's literally a 0% chance that Zest and Mako could win this.
Yeah, I mean...
you know, you've got a reflank coming out from Brave, which they were aware of, but also the Soverall, Breach ult that can stop you. And at that point, if DRX chose to commit, it would just be to pull out Sochni and Turco's ults. And instead, I think the better option is to just keep the Vandals alive. It adds so much more danger to your eco rounds.
The difference this half has been...
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Brent, we're kind of getting to the point where...
Close. What did you say? Was it 8 rounds?
I said they had to win, what was it, round 15 and 5 more, something like that?
Which I think would have brought it up to round 8 in total. So 7 or 8. Never do maths on broadcast because you will look like an idiot. But
Yeah.
it was around that.
Operator on the board here for DRX. That Zest is using.
This is so bizarre.
What's
Okay.
going on here?
Yep. And these are the rounds you need to be careful of. Despite the buy being a bit weak, I think it's because Buzz ends up having his ult to play with. The Blade Storm. Hunter's Fury is beautiful. Does trade it out. But it's still a bit of a weird one. Any sort of mistake. And you never know with these kind of rounds. Your series, your tournament life just could be over in the blink of an eye. But BBL offered a nice uncontested plan. Buzz with the knife, still looking to contest, and then you see that Turkish confidence coming through once more with the gunplay. Unwavering faith in their teammates, able to just solidly clean up the remaining members there of DRX.
Yeah, and despite the fact that DRX had some dangerous weaponry, the Operator, Buzz with his knives, you know, it was still a half buy, but it had a lot of power behind it. BBL is still really clean.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie, Brad, if BBL win this next round, I think the squeeze is going to start to be felt by DRX.
Certainly feels like it. Because this is certainly getting out of control. I think BBL, listen, I'm not going to say the usual, which is like, oh, what resilience they've shown to come back in this situation. We've already seen it over the course of the series.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been able to come back from, admittedly, not single round is so hard. What a hurdle. Because, again, no room for mistakes. Has to be perfect.
C is left completely open right now.
A whole load of utility being used, including their own breach ult, which catches onto the side of Kushner.
Whoa.
The guy is being rattled around the back of the sides like no one's business. Now the Swarm dropped into just the corner of it, pushes him into an unfavorable angle, and he is dealt with enough. But BBL with the rifle still swinging through. Stacks might have just put an end to it. Weaving his way into the site, and it's all down to Brave. In just a blink of an eye, it all comes down to this. He finds the one target. Little smoke drop down. Consumes it to give him the sightline angle, but